Hey everyone, happy Thursday. Thanks for tuning in this YouTube live. I'm Waller's Wallet, and today I saw some pretty interesting news floating its way around the internet. And that's because American Express is starting to send out 1099 forms or tax forms for credit card referrals made in 2018. Now, I originally saw this over on Miles Talk, and I eventually went to the Reddit page where the source was originally, or where the stories originally came from. I'll link to both of those in the description below after this video. But let's talk about this and how this affects you. And as always, I'll be answering your questions towards the end of this video. And I think I should definitely mention at first that I'm not an accountant, a tax lawyer, or even a tax professional. I mean, I do my own taxes, but I am far from being an accountant. So while there are some forums out there talking about how you can adjust the points values on your taxes or even deduct your annual fees, but I'm going to go ahead and defer those to the tax experts. So, with American Express, it always seems like we're taking 2 steps forward with them and then 1 step back. So, I think they've made some great strides, but then they do something like this, which completely blows my mind and just seems come out of left field. So let's start off with those 1099 forms that are being sent. Now, they're not being sent out as one individual 1099 form. They're coming out for each card you earn referrals on. So some of you, including myself, might have a few forms coming our way. And it looks like they're sending these out even if you had less than $600 in referral bonuses. So I posted a question in the community tab, and someone asked me if it would be for 1 or 2 referrals or for like the bigger bloggers out there. But with this information, it means that you could potentially be receiving a 1099 form even for just 1 referral, which I find this to be absolutely ridiculous on American Express's part, because there's not another bank I can think of that is sending out 1099 forms for credit card referrals. We know they send them out for bank bonuses because like for Citibank, that's different. But I have not seen these for credit card referrals. Now, not only does this make American Express look petty, I think that people are going to be less likely or more cautious to refer their friends or family for a credit card bonus from American Express. And I also think that if you're earning a lot of your points for referrals or through referrals, this is also going to eat into your point values from American Express. So you're going to need to start taking that into consideration for your point values if you earn a lot of them through referrals. But in American Express's defense, the terms and conditions they have say this: the value of the referral bonuses may be taxable income to you and may be required to send you a Form 1099 miscellaneous and file it with the IRS. You're responsible for any federal or state taxes resulting from the referral bonus. Please consult your tax advisor if you have questions about tax treatment or a referral bonus. Now, while they have this in their terms and conditions, I really have a hard time believing that they are required to send this out to their customers. Because if they were, that would mean other banks like Chase or other banks that offer, like Discover, that offer referral bonuses would be sending these out as well. And they don't send them out. So, it seems to me like they're trying to shift out some of the tax liability that they own, possibly out to the consumers. And I just think it's pretty petty on their part as well. Now, I think it's important to note that the bonuses or the points you earn from credit card sign-up bonuses or the spending you earn on a day-to-day are not taxable. Those are considered rebates, and those are not part of this. I think that's an important note because some people do think that that's taxable. Now, let's talk about the point values that are being reported. Now, I think this to be quite interesting because the tax forms that American Express is sending out has membership reward points, Marriott points, and even Delta points valued at 1 cent per point. Now, where this gets extremely comical is that they have Hilton points valued at 1.25 cents per point. Now, I don't know in what universe American Express is saying Hilton points are worth 1.25 cents per point. To me, it's like someone at American Express who's never made an award booking just put a number on a board and just went with it. I recently just booked actually a Hilton out for VidCon in July. And when I booked out that, now it's during an event, and I received roughly 1 cent per point. And I think that's really good for Hilton points. But on the average, they're worth about half a cent per point. And if you remember a couple weeks ago, maybe a month and a half ago, we were able to cash out our points with our Hilton points at Amazon at half a cent per point. And people just jumped on that. So they're really not worth 1.25 cents. And they're definitely not worth more than membership reward points. And one of the things I have an issue with on the membership reward side, although I think we can accept it, is the fact that they're valued at 1 cent per point on their 1099 forms. When if you in fact look at their floor value through statement credit or even booking hotels through the membership reward portal, they're only worth about 0.6 to 0.7 cents per point. So, while we can definitely get more than 1 cent per point from our membership reward points, American Express set the floor value at 0.6 to 0.7 cents. So I'm really not a fan of them valuing the 1 cent per point, since you can't necessarily get 1 cent per point from those values. But we're definitely going to be living with that, and I think some people can do that as well. I think Marriott at 1 cent per point is still overvalued, but it's not nearly as bad as Hilton. And Delta Cents being 1 cent per point, I think is pretty close to their worth, and you can actually get better value from that. So that might actually be the closest, I think, to their true value in points. So really, what does this mean for you? So if you made any referrals in 2018, then you're most likely going to be receiving a 1099 form in the next few days from American Express. And that includes myself. And I had quite a few referrals through membership rewards, as well as a couple other co-branded credit cards. So I'm waiting to see what my total damage is done myself. And so one thing I think that we need to think of is that American Express has sent these out, but I think they're going to weigh sorry. While American Express might keep these 1099 forms, I think there's a possibility they're going to pull back on this and either completely reduce this or shift some of the values like Chase did in 2017. And at the least, I think they're definitely going to have to revalue that completely absurd value of 1.25 cents per point for Hilton points. But I think if they do keep the 1099 form for all of their points and keep that Hilton one at 1.25 cents per point, then you're going to need to start weighing the benefits, the points you're going to earn, to the tax burden that you're going to have from these. And that might limit you to the number of referrals you're willing to make. But that's going to be for each individual to determine, as well, as your financial situation. Over on the Reddit forum, if you go down through the comments, you'll see someone had referred a lot of people, and it increased their tax burden roughly a couple $1,000s. And for some people, that's a lot of money to be, to lose out on come tax time. And while I'm not a tax professional, I'm probably going to be waiting to submit my taxes until I see what American Express does, because I think American Express is going to somehow make some sort of adjustment to this, because I just don't think they're going to be willing to take this backlash, because at the end of the day, this is a bad look for American Express. But at the same time, if American Express starts this and actually holds their ground on this, what's to say this doesn't happen with other banks in the future, such as Chase or Discover? Ultimately, I do think that they do pull back on this because of the backlash they're getting, but there is that possibility if they hold on this, we could see this expand in the future. So let me see if I have any questions right now. Let's see. You just comment on your other video today about this topic. You read my mind. Let's see. The Ascend card. The Ascend card is great if you have the Hilton Honors, no annual fee, because you can upgrade it to the Ascend, get 150. Yep, you can, World Walker. I think that's a great thing about the Hilton cards, is that you can constantly upgrade. I don't say constantly, but you upgrade and downgrade with those cards. So if you have the Ascend or Aspire, downgrade it to the no-fee card, and you'll get typically an offer within the year or about a year to upgrade it back up, receive the full sign-up bonus without the hard pull. And I think that is one great thing about American Express and their Hilton points. Credit Shifu did a video today discussing 1099s he received. I subscribe to Shufu and Sebi. I don't really watch their videos, so I'll have to go take a look at that afterwards. I don't watch them up front because I know we're all in the same niche, and I never want my material to be say I stole it from someone else. So, if they do something similar, I have yet to watch it. I will probably check it out, though, after this video to see what happened with him. I thought I heard something. I thought the same thing when I heard about this. All right, let's see. Let's see. I feel bad for other channels because Sebi works at an inhuman pace. Yeah, Sebi is pretty out of this world on how fastly he produces content. I'm pretty amazed by that. I have sometimes a hard time doing a couple videos a week, and he's pumping out, sometimes more than one a week. Hats off to him. Hilton points are the new Starwood points according to their crazy valuations. Yeah, Liquid Fox, I'm not sure what they're smoking over at American Express. There's just no way Hilton points are worth that much. I mean, especially when you can buy them at half a cent per point through, their sales. So I really think we're going to see a revaluation of those in their tax forms. If not, they need to really show us how we can get 1.25 cents consistently, and not the one-offs that will say the Maldives for their properties. Whole thing's going to be like open bar and just getting the bill at the end. That's pretty funny. What other banks do I think could follow, Champ? Champ, I think that we could see Chase potentially following this, because Chase has really been trying to, I think I was reading Chase has like $6 billion or something like that in point liability. So by reducing that, or even shifting out some of those to people, it would reduce some of their burden as well. I think Chase would be the next logical one. Discover gives out bonuses as well. And a couple other smaller banks do have personal referrals, but, Citi comes and goes. Barclay has had them in the past. They're not consistent though. So we could just see this expand out, because that really takes the burden off the banks, puts it back on the consumer, and then it even reduces the amount of people we are referring to begin with. Repeat. How did I find out about this? Should I check my email? So so Aaron, I was reading about this I saw this at first over at Miles Talk, and also there's a Reddit forum. I'll link to those both after the video in the description below, so you can go ahead and refer to those and keep tabs on what's going in there. In that Reddit forum as well, I believe there was actually a link over to someone who's talking about tax implications of annual fees. Like I said, I'm not a tax expert, but feel free to read through it, talk to an accountant, and see how they are about that as well. Is this for the sign-up bonus or just for the referrals only? GZ, this is just for the referrals. Your sign-up bonuses are safe here, the ones that you sign up for and you spend your money on. These are just for referrals only. This is not for bonuses that you have through spend or through your daily credit card spend. Those are considered rebates and not taxable. Let's see. How did I check this? Hilton says their points at 1 cent per point. Yushi, I think Yushi, they typically will, but when they have their 100% bonuses, it typically drops that to half a cent per point. So if you are buying Hilton points, you should probably wait for those promotions, just because of the fact you're going to save yourself some more money and earn a lot of extra points if you're buying them at that rate. There are Hilton 10 codes. There are Hilton 10 nights though where you can get that much value. Yeah, there's some. If I'm reading that right, there are Hilton hotels at 10,000 nights where you can get that much value. Yeah, I mean, definitely, especially like in Southeast Asia, and even in some of I think Egypt as well, and a couple of the Middle Eastern ones, you can get some really good value for your Hilton points, where you might redeem for over 1.25 cents per point. But that's definitely the minority. If you're looking on the day to day, you're still looking between probably 0.4 to 0.6 cents in that ballpark. Don't want to ruin future videos, but any thoughts on the new Marriott craziness? Marriott has been quite interesting to me, in the sense that fact that for such a large organization, they can't get their IT department to get anything done. I think the naming of their new credit card, this is ridiculous myself. I don't think they're doing any favors by people to raise the annual fees on a couple. I think on their, was it the SPG or the SPG business card, to an extra $30 to potentially earn yourself a free night by spending $60,000, and then also getting $100 credit when you spend money at the Ritz-Carlton or the Regis, which for most of us in the game, we're not looking to spend money. So I think that's a moot point for a lot of people. So I don't think that it's really good. And Marriott, I think, just has a lot of things they're still need to work on, which is why I think we've seen Hilton really hammer it to them and really pump out these large bonuses and really come after those people who are Marriott loyalists for a long time, just because Marriott has screwed up royally over the last couple months to a year. Any thoughts on the 7 to 10 message means for Citi AA business application? Roth, if you have the 7 to 10, it can mean a number of things. It might be worth waiting to see. In my experience, Citi's been pretty easy to get business cards. So if this is maybe one of your first business cards with them, you might just want to wait and see. You could also call into the reconsideration line if you're being a little impatient to kind of see what it is that they are needing more information from. Maybe they just need a couple questions they need to ask before they can make a decision. Let's see. Will adding yourself as an authorized user on your own AMX Platinum count against 524? That's a good question. I don't, I'll have to look at it. I think by adding yourself, it will populate on your credit report again. And Chase will use that against you in general now, more so than they were in the past. I know if you're doing that probably for like the bonuses for, the 5,000 points for 20,000 or 5,000 points per user up to 20,000 points. It's not a bad thing, but I would think I'll get back to you, Roth, on that one because I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm going to go with, I think it does because it will populate as an authorized user. How many credit cards do you have with free nights, and which ones are the best in your opinion? The credit cards I have, World Walker, with free nights, I have one IHG, or my wife has one IHG credit card. We have 2 Hyatt credit cards, and we have 2 Hilton Aspire credit cards. Oh, and I have the Marriott Business credit card as well. Which ones offer me the best are the best in my opinion? I think for someone who likes Hyatt properties, I think, well, if you can stay in a place with Hyatt properties, I am a big fan of Hyatt. I think my big knock on them is their lack of a footprint. If you're someone who really prefers high-end resorts, I got to go with Hilton because there's no restriction on them. It's just on the weekends. So for most people, that should be fine. If you're a midweek person, that's really going to kind of suck for you because you're not going to be able to actually get to use that. IHG used to be really great, and I used to love them until that 40,000 point restriction, but you can still get outsized value for that as a whole. So I think it's like kind of a loaded question for those. They've all come in handy for me at different times in my travel, but I think for the big bang and what you're going to get the most value for is probably that Hilton certificate. Let's see. Is it worth to buy Hyatt points at 1.8 cents per point with the bonus promotion happening now? RJ, what I would say to this here is if you have a property in mind and you don't have any Hilton points, you want to run the value it's going to cost you to purchase those points to the cash value of actually buying or for paying for that room. And what I would say on top of that is you want to check some of the third-party gift sites. I would check like Gift Card Granny will consolidate for you to see if there's any discounted gift cards as well. Take that into your consideration when calculating these, because just at 1.8 cents per point, you could receive better value. Doesn't mean you are going to receive better value. So take the property you want, check out the cash price, calculate the price it's going to cost for those points. If the points cost is less for that same one, totally worth it. If the cash price is more, not worth it. I think that's kind of a very, that's quite another way I look at for buying points. City Prestige lost today, launched today. What are your thoughts? Only 50,000 point bonus. Well, I'm going to have to take a look at that because I need to do a review on that card. I think a 50,000 point bonus though on that card is quite weak, especially for the sense that they reduced the value through the City Thank You portal to only 1 cent per point. I'm not a big fan of spending $495 on a card for a $500 sign-up bonus. But I'll have more on that when I review the card because I have a few other things I want to look at as well. But I would say first initial thoughts, very weak bonus, not going to be likely to have me sign up, or probably a lot of people sign up for that because the bonus is pretty weak. Most underrated place you have been to, I think it's been heating up, but I've been a really big fan of Budapest since I went there a couple years ago. I think it's more, I think it's heated up in recent times, but it's a great place for a lot of history, a lot of great food. The US dollar goes very far there. And I would say that's probably been one of my favorite places to visit as a whole. It's just there's a lot to offer there. And if you haven't been there, I would totally say go there and see it. All right. Let's see. Thoughts on doing the Chasing Preferred second time with EIN for another business. So with the Chasing Preferred with a second EIN, you're still going to be, you can get the bonus again for that card. So if that's what you're up to and you have a legitimate EIN as opposed to, using your social security number a second time, although I think there are data points, if I remember correctly, people have gotten that, but a second EIN would definitely help your cause to get that second time bonus. Let's see. That's funny. Thanks, Aaron. It was a cough. It's safe from all those points. That's hilarious. You guys are awesome. Bucharest is awesome too. Les Torres. Bucharest is actually on my list of places to visit. We were actually do that last year, but right around the time I was booking tickets, the Athens opened up at a far lower cost. So for me, I'm an opportunistic traveler. So having Athens open up at a lower cost means Athens won out. I was pretty happy with Athens, although Bucharest is on my list of places to see, which we might potentially try to see later this year. Got to get that baby his passport though, because he needs some stamps in that bad boy. All right, let's see. Favorite airline to fly besides Spirit? You know, I've been from Bangor. We have few airlines that fly from here, but my favorite airline we've flown so far has probably been Lufthansa. It's been, we typically fly coach, but Lufthansa has been pretty fantastic in the sense that I felt I had a better coach experience with them than I had in business with Air Berlin on the way home. They've just fantastic. I felt that, comfortable seats, which has been pretty fantastic. Although I think my most comfortable coach seat has been Austrian Airlines. The flight attendants on Lufthansa were absolutely stunning, like great for coach service, far better than what you get with any American carrier, hands down, in my opinion. What happened to, let's see, should I get the Chase Sapphire Reserve or the New City Prestige? Oh man, as far as the bonus is weak on the Prestige, it does have some benefits I think that are pretty good. I think my big knock on the Prestige that it has a weak ecosystem with the other thank you cards. I'm going to lean towards probably the Reserve, just because I think for most people, when I was writing up my script for I've been writing up my script for the Prestige. The Prestige really only shines in restaurants, which you can get with the AMX Gold Card, as well as airfare. Outside of that 3x on cruises and hotels, that doesn't beat the Reserve, because the Reserve is 3x on all travel. And for most people, being able to utilize their points through the travel portal at 1.5 cents per point gives you far better value. For a lot of people, plus that simplicity of the Chase ecosystem in how great it is, just really outshines City as a whole. So, I'm actually going to be comparing the Prestige with the Reserve, as well as a couple other cards and a couple videos coming up. So I'm looking forward to that as well, because right now, just from face value, I'm really not too impressed with, it sounds like, with the Prestige. Although if that cell phone protection is higher end for the higher end models, that could be good. My gut says if it's City, it's probably not though. Let's see. How long are we going to wait for the baby's first international trip? Roth, I think there's potentially May, but we definitely know this fall we're heading over to, I think, London and Edinburgh later this fall. So he'll have his immunizations at that time. We'll feel more comfortable traveling with him. But so far, he's been a pretty easygoing baby, to where we're feeling pretty comfortable traveling with him. Although he'll be traveling with us to the YouTube conference I'll be going to in July, or potentially even thinking a short trip in May. So baby's going to get his wings and start working on being a good airline passenger. So let's see. Best card no one talks about. Oh man, there's a few of those. I think some people I actually posed that question the other day, and I think some people said the City cashback, or not the City, the US Bank Cash Plus is a pretty good one. Although there is a new 5X card, and I think I saw Sebi actually have a screen thumbnail to it. The ABOC Reward Platinum card. It's another 5X card. There's a lot of cards I'm a big fan of that I'm kind of in the midst of opening, or going to be opening. But I would definitely say either I'm a big fan of the US Bank Cash Plus, just for that 5X category you can do. And maybe, one that's not getting as much attention now, if you were to have it, is the refreshed Bank of America Cash Rewards, that you can pick that category in, especially if you're a Platinum Honors member in their group. I think it's a pretty solid card if you were there. Should I wait on a higher Prestige bonus? Wilson, I would definitely wait for a higher Prestige bonus. I just think 50,000 is too low for its annual fee. The transfer partners are good, but you have to be able to utilize or know enough about their partners, since they lack domestic partners outside of JetBlue. So I would wait to see if they offer something higher. We've seen higher ones in the past of 75,000. And then there was that 100,000 offer a couple years back, but I think we're going to be more likely to see it increase later on if it has a lukewarm welcoming here. Hey, well, I don't want to get you in trouble. Opinions on manufacturer spending. So with manufacturer spending, I think you have to be careful on it, just because you have to be careful in the sense that you don't want to risk more money that you can lose, because people purchase these gift cards, they try to liquidate these gift cards, and in doing that, you see some of these avenues dry up, or Walmart doesn't take your gift cards anymore, and then you're stuck with thousands of dollars in gift cards. And there are certain ways to liquidate them, but they come at a fee and a cost. So if you can purchase gift cards at a negative cost, not with those fees, and have a way that can do it. If you find a good manufacturer spending way, keep that secret to your heart. Don't really share that with anyone, because the minute those get thrown out into the world, people take advantage of those and it shuts down real fast. So I personally don't do manufacturer spending. The reason for that was way back when Citi had that 100,000 American Airline credit card. I was dabbling in manufacturer spending myself. There was an issue at a register and I lost $500 in doing so. And I could not get the money back. So at that point, I retired my manufacturer spending career, very short-lived. Let's see. I just finished my Chase Sapphire Reserve Inc. Freedom Trifecta. Not really sure where to go from here. Thinking Hyatt card, maybe one of the new Bonvoy cards. Brandon, I think right there you have the Reserve in cash. I think if you have the Reserve too, you should probably look at either the Business Unlimited, the Inc. Unlimited at 1.5 points per dollar in addition to your Reserve, or even look at the Freedom Unlimited for that 1.5 points per dollar, because that gives you a minimum of 2.25% when redeeming through the portal, which I think is pretty good. I'm a big fan of the Hyatt card, but like I said, especially if you can meet that $15,000 on the new card to get that second night spend. But their footprint is small, so you want to make sure that if you're going to be using those cards, you do get enough value from it. But like I said, I am a big fan of the Hyatt card if you're there. ABOCs are worth 0.75 cents, and the bonus is not that great, but has no annual fee. I think, if I remember correctly, because I remember speaking to some people from ABOC, unless it's changed, you could get some value at 1.5 at 1 cent per point. I'll have to double check my notes on that, but I think it's like 0.75 cents for some redemptions. It's not a fixed rate from my understanding. It does vary, but I'll have to take more look into that to make sure that's correct. Thoughts on pursuing Crystal Bank Visa after 5/24? I think the Crystal Bank is actually quite a good card for a long-term keeper. I think one of the issues that you have to apply in branch. And if you're someone with the Reserve, I think that you're getting a lot of value from that card to begin with. But that being said, I think it's worth applying for, especially with some of the bonuses out there, because it's gone up. I think it's 50,000, it's been 75,000, even 100,000 in the past. So I'm big on chasing bonuses if you can get them. So, if you're past 5/24, I can go in a whole rant video about why you should not wait to fall back under 5/24. So after 5/24, I think it's fair game to get the best bonuses and the cards that give you the most value for your rewards. I do think that there's a lot of overlapping benefits, such as lounge access as well. One thing I do like about the Crystal Bank, if I remember correctly, is that Visa Infinite Portal for $100 discount on round trip tickets. That's a big benefit for people who like to fly domestic in the U.S. Let's see, my worst nightmare, having 1,000 side up on gift cards. Yeah, you and me, champ. That's why I haven't done that. So what do I think of the Citi Prestige? Louise, that was asked me earlier. I think the bonus on it is pretty weak. I'll have a review on that card hopefully in the next couple of days to have that shot edited and out the door for you guys. Just because there's a few things I need to look at. I was waiting for some information to come out to see how that card looks as a whole. But right now, I'm giving it a pass. Let's see. I'm 5/24 Inc. Preferred, IHG or Hilton Aspire. What do you think to that? If you're 4/24 and you're looking at one of those or both of those, Reckless, I would start with IHG because it is subject to 5/24. And then I would look at the Hilton Aspire card afterwards because it's not subject to the Chase 5/24. And that way you can get both cards and not have to worry about picking between them. How soon can you switch from the Chasing Preferred to an Unlimited? Should you wait till the annual fees post like the personal cards? Roth, you need to wait at 1 year. You need to wait 1 year before you can product change those cards. If you wait till the annual fee post and reduce and product change it after within the first 30 days of the annual fee being posted, then you're going to go ahead and get that annual fee back. So there's no worries about that there. 1 cent per point through the travel portal. Thank you for that. Okay, so the ABOC card is 1 cent per the travel portal and 0.75 cents everywhere else. If that's the case, it's going to be useful for travel. So it might not be as good as it sounds on paper. I'll check my notes, and I probably will have a review on that card as well, just because I think it's interesting and different. Take a sip of my coffee here. I just got 55,000 American Express points. What's the best way to use them? Which worker? I think there's a lot of different ways to use those points. I think if you're looking for domestic, you can do a couple trips here with using Aeroplan and doing a domestic stopover. If you're looking to fly, you can fly business class over to Europe on Etihad for 50,000 in business class one way. So there's a lot of different values here. What's the best way? I think when people say what's the best, it really depends on what you're looking for. I personally value more trips. So, when we're looking to do some traveling later this year, I'm probably going to be looking at maximizing value as far as trips as opposed to, I guess, comfort, if you will. Although I am excited to see more premium economy options here. But yes, airline transfer partner is going to be far better for those. I wish I flew. I don't know what that means. Okay, would you do a review on the Navy flagship for record? Yeah, I'll take a look at that card, the Navy Fellowship flagship reward card. I think Navy Federal's got some decent cards out there. I do think some of these smaller banks actually have pretty good cards outside of the big ones. I actually have a couple smaller bank video reviews I'm wanting to do. Some that don't get enough attention that offer some value to people. Because not everything revolves around American Express, Chase, or Citi. Best airline card, in my opinion, Louise, that really is going to depend on what you fly for airlines. That being said, I am a big fan, although I don't have the card, of the United card because I do like the extra award space that opens up when you have that card. I think that's a huge benefit. And while it might be the everyday amount, it is going to be, I think, a pretty great benefit for people who get access to more award space. Today is the last night for American Express with Platinum under 450. Do you think they're done offering MR points for the sign up with the new rework? Liquid Fox, I don't think so. And here's the reason why. If you go private browser, you can still find those MR points offers out there. So I don't think it's done. I think we're going to see those points come back as a whole, or you can still probably find those as well you'll probably find membership reward point bonuses through private browsers as well, or targeted offers. Although I did see, I think I saw over on Twitter, Doctor of Credit posted that there's still a offer of 75,000 points tonight after a 5,000 spent on the Amex Business Platinum for the 450 fee. So if that is something that's interested you, I would take a look at that, lock that in for the 450 fee, because I have a hard time thinking the WeWork offer for majority of people is worth that increased annual fee. All right. Do you know if it is possible after March to still product to the Ritz-Carlton rewards card from? I don't believe so. I believe that has been shut down to do anything with that Ritz-Carlton card. I think if you have it, you have it. If you don't, you don't. But I'll double check for you, but I'm 99% sure that is gone. Are third-party gift cards safe to purchase in fairly large amounts using ink cash to buy a lot of Lowe's gift cards at Office Depot for So, Brandon, if you're buying gift cards at Lowe's, then I would say that's pretty safe. If you're buying them through a third-party site, such as Cardpool or Card Cash, those are a little different. They do protect you for a certain amount of time, but I would say if you're going to have purchase those, have a plan with those gift cards as a whole. You don't want to purchase them and have the gift cards somehow have zero, because that has happened in the past, and not be protected. So purchasing gift card at Lowe's and buying them at 5 points per dollar at Office Depot, you're buying them pretty directly right there, being activated on the spot. I would say you're pretty safe to do that. I know I do that myself for Amazon gift cards and others as well. I know lots of people do that. So I would say you're pretty safe by doing that as a whole. So I think, to me, you're safe to do that. Let's see. I think I got all your questions tonight, right? All right. So, I'm curious. Tell me, what do you think about American Express sending out these 1099 forms for referral bonuses? Leave a comment. Let me know what that is down below. I just want to thank all of you for tuning in this YouTube live. If you like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. Or if you know somebody who might benefit from this video, feel free to share it with them. And if you want to help support the channel, a simple way to do that is to use the links on the website or even the description below. Remember, I post new videos every Thursday. So if you like learning about credit cards, points, miles, cash back, or just flat out traveling for less, consider that the subscribe button down below. And I will see you all next week. Safe travels and take care, everyone.